Going missing isn't always a conscious choice. Why do some people just walk away from their lives? And why do others just simply vanish? More than 250,000 people go missing every year in the UK, and my channel analyses just some of these strange and mysterious disappearances. On the 24th of July 1991, Ben Needham, a 21-month-old English child, disappeared on the Greek island of Kos. After initial searches failed to locate him, he was believed to have been kidnapped. But, despite numerous claims of sightings over the years, his whereabouts remain unknown. Ben was a toddler from Sheffield who was playing near his grandparents' holiday home in the village of Iraklis when he disappeared. On the day of his disappearance, over 30 years ago, Ben had been playing around the farmhouse the family were renovating at the time when they realised he had disappeared at around 2:30 p.m. At first, the family searched the area looking for Ben, but assumed he had wandered off or been taken out by his teenage Uncle Stephen on his moped. The Needham family called the police when they couldn't find their son, but local officers came to suspect the family themselves and failed to notify nearby ports and airports, asking staff to be on the lookout for the child. Ben's mum, Kerry Needham, had recently moved to Kos from Sheffield to start a new life with her family when the tragedy occurred. She had left Ben with his grandparents while she went off to work, not realizing she would never see him again. As Kerry drove off to work at a nearby hotel, she had absolutely no reason to believe her toddler son would come to any harm whilst she was working. One line of inquiry suggests that the toddler may have been crushed to death by a digger on Kos. Digger driver Konstantinos Barkas was clearing land near to where Ben was playing on the day he vanished. A friend of the builder reportedly told police what happened and how Barkas may be responsible for Ben's death. The driver of the digger died of stomach cancer back in 2015, just months before South Yorkshire detectives arrived on the island to investigate further. But the digger driver's widow, Varvara, strongly dismisses the idea that her late husband accidentally killed the toddler. Detectives issued a statement which read, "We continue to keep an open mind and have updated Ben's family about certain lines of inquiry that we're currently exploring. A dedicated policing team continues to work extremely hard to find the answers for his family and keep them fully informed and supported throughout the investigation." One eyewitness claimed to see a boy matching Ben's description at the local airport on the day he disappeared, but that boy has never been traced. And 3 months after Ben disappeared on the Greek island, the Needham family returned to England, but they vowed to continue the search. In 2015, a man who lived in Greece phoned police to say that he believed he may well be Ben. He had no photographs of himself under the age of 2 and no knowledge of where he was born, but later the man was ruled out. 20 years after Ben went missing, another search was done on Kos, where 800 tons of soil was dug up and an item thought to belong to Ben was found. A yellow toy car was found deep in mud, but forensic experts believed the car did not belong to Ben. Three witnesses on a beach in Corfu claimed that a blond boy was found on the beach wearing a white t-shirt, and the boy was crying desperately and speaking English, but this was 587 miles away in Corfu, but could have been Ben. Just a few years ago, police released an image of what they believe Ben would look like as an adult. The artist's impression shows a man with blonde hair and blue eyes. 30 people came forward who looked like the image, but none had the DNA that the police were looking for. Shockingly, this year a body was found in the river Danube in Germany, a body of a child. It was not known how long he had been in the water, and he was weighed down with a flagstone slab and wrapped in foil. DNA experts said they do not believe the boy was German. Kerry, Ben's mother, said, and I quote, "We just try to keep a very open mind. Every lead has to be investigated. We're still looking at other leads that people send in. We get information near enough on a daily basis. People saying that they think they've seen Ben as a child or as a grown up. So we're constantly busy in the background." End quote. But unfortunately, the DNA did not match Ben's. In the years that followed Ben's disappearance, his family travelled all over Europe following up leads, including claims he had been taken from the island by a Greek family. But what did happen to Ben? We are still no further along the road to truth. Was he kidnapped? Could he have just wandered off and succumbed to the harsh elements of the Greek summer? Was he injured? Was a serial killer roaming nearby? We may never know the truth to this mystery. It seems unlikely that Ben was murdered. The island of Kos has very low crime rates and is thought of as very safe. However, tragically, this summer, a hotel worker was raped and strangled to death on the island of Kos, and she was forced to send a reassuring message to her boyfriend. Anastasia Patricia Rubinska, aged 27, was found dead on the island of Kos this summer. Her remains were found wrapped in a plastic bag under a bush. And investigators say Anastasia from Poland sent a text to her boyfriend warning him she was in danger. But another one followed minutes later saying she was fine, and police fear she was either forced to send it or it was sent by her killer. A 32-year-old suspect has since been arrested for her murder. When police detained him, he had scratch marks on his arms and face, but he denied all charges against him in court. And this suspect could not have been Ben's killer, as he was just a few months old when Ben vanished. I believe that the most likely scenario is that the little boy was accidentally crushed by the digger and buried in an unmarked grave. The digger driver's friend admitted that his pal had confessed to it. And why would he lie about such a terrible accident? But again, the digger driver's family strongly deny that their relative had anything to do with Ben's disappearance. Police are now absolutely convinced that the cause of Ben's mysterious vanishing is a digger accident. However, there is no evidence to suggest this, and Ben's mother remains hopeful that one day she will find the real answers. What do you think happened to Ben on that day back in 1991? Do you believe he was killed in a digger accident, or do you think something more mysterious occurred? If you have any information pertaining to Ben's whereabouts, you can contact the family on their Facebook page, Help Find Ben Needham, Sheffield. May we never forget the strange and mysterious disappearance of the little boy, Ben Needham.